And Jean Hayner is here, a face reader, and you spent your weekend, like many of us, looking at Michael Jackson and his passing and all the coverage. And from your background of being a face reader, you said you actually saw this coming.
Well, I've been worried about him for years, and of course this is really heartbreaking, but one of the amazing things is that this is a classic example to see how face reading works. All the changes that he made to his face through plastic surgery, and he had dozens of plastic surgeries in his lifetime. The Chinese face reading would say he really changed his destiny, especially what life would be like once he turned 40.
Amazing. So he has had, you know, from his nose to his chin to all sorts of skin pigmentation.
Right.
We have a picture of him from a little boy into, you know, recently before he just passed. And tell us, through the transformation, what does that tell you?
Oh, it's so, I mean, look at how beautiful he was as a child. Gorgeous little boy. One of the first things that I see is, you know, of course, how he devastated his nose. His original nose meant that his 40s were going to be a fabulous time, full of wonderful relationships, nice stability, wonderful, warm, kind of settled, rooted feeling in his life. Very stable time. But the changes that he made to his nose devastated his life for his 40s. It almost guaranteed that he'd have that series of nightmare experiences that he had, all those lawsuits that he went through, and it really changed him forever. It also made him much more sensitive and more likely to withdraw from other people.
What about his cheeks?
Yeah, so you see how sunken his cheeks have become, and of course they say he was anorexic, and you can even read tendencies toward anorexia in the face. He was 115 pounds, 6 feet tall when he died. It's heartbreaking to see. Those kinds of sunken cheeks indicate someone who has a tendency to deprive themselves specifically of food or even of breathing well enough. It also shows someone who will be more likely to isolate themselves, to not have healthy, good relationships, to not have good support in life.
His chin, I mean, he really changed the look of his chin.
Yes.
And you were saying that has a lot of ramifications.
Every change that you make to your face means something. In Chinese face reading, every feature has a meaning for you, has information for you about who you're supposed to be in life and how to live a happy life. And so you need to be careful what changes that you make. But he added a cleft to his chin, a very deep cleft. And the Chinese call that the mark of the performer, which is kind of interesting. But the flip side of that is that it can make someone a little overly sensitive to how other people treat them, a little less trusting, and much more likely to feel betrayed by other people, which I think he certainly did.
Skin pigmentation, I mean, that's something that definitely changed over time. He lightened his skin.
Right.
And you're saying that emotionally that tells you a lot.
Well, and it's interesting because they say he had vitiligo, which is where you lose pigmentation in the skin, but it's usually just in patches. It's not the entire skin. So it's pretty obvious that he did also have some procedure to lighten his skin. But even the physical health tendency to get vitiligo is a symptom of someone who feels more cut off, who is overly sensitive, who's almost like this little psychic sponge in situations where they're too sensitive to other people's energy.
Unbelievable. You were saying that somebody's face says so much, and when you change that a lot, it can change your destiny.
Well, I was especially worried about Michael Jackson, especially in the time period of his life from 49 through 50. So it was really stunning to me to hear that he dies at age 50, because the tip of your nose actually indicates what life will be like for you at age 49 as you move into 50. And so when the tip of his nose was so extremely changed, I was worried there would be something really devastating happening for him just as he turned 50, and of course 50 is when he died.
Amazing. You do this all over the world. You've done it for 30 years. Yeah. Originally, you see his face that, you know, we all agree is so cute and beautiful and adorable. So from his original features, what would it have been like to be in his late 40s and early 50s?
Well, so late 40s would have been a fabulous time. Wonderful family life, good connections, great friends, and also, you know, abundance for him. Safety in home is what his face indicates. Enjoying all the pleasures of life on earth is what his face gave him, and he went to the exact opposite of that. So really an extreme painful experience of life. And in addition, it's really kind of spooky that the tip of your nose is supposed to represent the health of your heart physically. And so the fact that he changed the tip of his nose so much is a reflection that there might have been some health problems with his heart.
Wow. Jean, a face reader for 30 years, thank you so much for sharing some of your insight with us. And you have a workshop coming up in August. We'll get all that information on our website and let all our viewers know.
Thanks so much.
Good to have you here.